Let my girlfriend get robbed after I warned her. She just called me a worm she uses for cash, then showed up at my door expecting help and I shut it. I'm a 27M, and my now ex-girlfriend Lily is 25F. We'd been together a little over a year. On paper we worked, same gym, same friend circle, similar schedules. In reality, she had a mean streak she disguised as jokes. If I wanted a quiet night, I was grandpa. If I reminded her to lock her car, I was paranoid. Her favorite bit, used often enough that friends repeated it, was calling me her worm. As in, he's my little worm. He worries about everything but still pays. He's basically cash with opinions. Everyone would laugh. I'd force a smile and hate myself for letting it slide. Last Friday, a group chat turned into last-minute plans. Lily wanted to hit a bar in a neighborhood that has, objectively, a bad reputation after dark. I'm not being dramatic. 2 muggings in the last month, one just outside that same bar. I said as calmly as I could, "Please pick somewhere else. I don't want you walking there at midnight." She rolled her eyes. When we got to a mutual friend's place first, she performed for the room. See? This is why he's my worm. He'll Uber me anywhere and buy the apps, but he's terrified of sidewalks. Someone snorted. Someone else said, "Aw, wallet with legs." My face went hot. I still said, "I'm serious. Don't go." She kissed my cheek like I was a cute dog learning a trick and said, "Relax. I'll be fine." They went. I stayed home. Pride, stubbornness, self-respect, take your pick, and watched the minutes crawl. Around 12:40 a.m., my phone lit with an unknown number, a trembling voice. "It's me. They took my bag. My phone. I borrowed some guy's cell. Please come." I could hear traffic and crying in the background. I asked where she was. Same block I warned about, of course. I went. Yeah, I know some people will say I shouldn't have, but I'm not built to leave someone stranded. She was sitting on the curb outside a closed laundromat, mascara in 2 black rails, knees scraped. When she saw me, she started sobbing in that hiccupy way that flips your stomach even when you're furious. I put my hoodie around her shoulders, got her into the car, and we drove in silence. She kept whispering, "I can't believe this happened. I'm shaking. I feel disgusting." I drove. I didn't say, "I told you so," not yet, because I didn't want to be the guy who kicks while someone's down. When we got to my building, she was out of the car and up the front steps before I'd killed the engine. At my door, she said without looking at me, "I need a shower, your sweats, food, your spare charger, and please don't start lecturing." She reached for the handle like she lived there. I put my hand on the door and didn't open it. She blinked, confused, like the universe had glitched. "What are you doing?" I said, steady. "You called me your worm in front of our friends tonight. You said I'm cash with opinions. You laughed at me for wanting you safe. You went anyway. Now you're here because the exact thing I warned you about happened." Her mouth opened, closed. I was joking. "No," I said. "Jokes land differently when the punchline is the person you claim to love. Here's the punchline now. I told you so." She recoiled like I'd slapped her. "Wow, so you're going to punish me? After I got robbed?" "I picked you up," I said. "I didn't leave you on the street, but I'm not your hotel, your pantry, or your doormat. You don't get to degrade me at 8 p.m. and demand sanctuary at 1 a.m. like it's your right." She started crying harder, the angry kind. "You're heartless. I just got assaulted." "You were shoved and robbed. That's awful. I'm sorry it happened. I wish it hadn't. I also wish you'd listened. Both things can be true." She stared at me, searching for the old version of me, the one who'd fold. When I didn't, she went for the soft spots. "Everyone's going to hear you slam the door on me after a trauma. They'll also hear what you said about me before it," I said, "and they'll hear that I warned you and still came to get you. You're not rewriting this." For the first time all night, the tears stopped. Her face went flat. "Fine. I'll go to your mom's. She actually cares." That line hit like a cold coin down my spine. My mom is kind to a fault. Lily knows that. She also knows mom thinks I can be too strict with boundaries because I'm the planner in a family of improvisers. I kept my voice level. "If you manipulate my mom, that's one more reason we're done." She scoffed. "We're done because you're small," and stalked down the stairs, my hoodie still on her shoulders. I didn't chase her. I locked the door because I needed the deadbolt between us to match the one I was finally sliding into place in my head. I slept badly. Woke up to texts from our friend group. Lily says you abandoned her after she was attacked? I sent a single paragraph. That she'd mocked me, ignored a safety warning, got robbed, and I still picked her up but wouldn't let her move in for the night like nothing happened. I ended it with, I won't be anyone's punchline and panic button at the same time. The chat went quiet. Around noon, my mom called, anxious. Lily's here, she's very shaken, I made her tea, she said you were cold. She also told her room I'm a worm she uses for cash, I said. Did she mention that? Silence. Then softly, she said she might have said things she didn't mean. She meant them, I said. Mom, please don't let her make my boundaries your project. I'm just helping, Mom said. She's a guest, not moving in. Set a checkout time then, I said. And don't give her money, she'll ask. She wouldn't, Mom said, and in the background I heard Lily's voice bright and soft, the good girl register she uses with adults. My chest tightened. I have to go, Mom whispered. We'll talk later. After we hung up, I sat at my kitchen table, coffee going cold, hands still faintly smelling like her perfume from the hoodie she'd taken. The anger, the adrenaline, the brittle humor of last night all drained out and left something simple. Relief. Not because she got hurt. God, no. Because I finally didn't abandon myself to rescue someone who wouldn't even offer me basic respect. I know how Reddit can be. Some of you will say I should have let her shower and sleep and then dumped her in the morning. Maybe. But there's this line I kept crossing for her. Just this once. Just this joke. Just this party. Just this bill. Just this night. The thing about just this once is it teaches people exactly how to treat you. I've taught enough. I'm done. For what it's worth, I hope she files a police report. I hope she replaces her locks, her cards, whatever. I hope the person who shoved her is caught. But I also hope she stops confusing other people's care with a blank check to behave however she wants. As for me, I'm not asking if I'm the asshole. I know I wasn't. I was clear, I was kind enough, and I finally had a spine. I told her so. And this time, I told myself so too. Update 1. So, it's been about a week since everything went down. I honestly wasn't even planning on updating, but a lot has happened and I need to get it off my chest. After I shut the door on my ex-girlfriend that night, I figured that was it. I wasn't going to let her back into my life after the way she humiliated me and then expected me to swoop in like some ATM safety net. But of course, she wasn't done. The next morning, my mom called me, her voice all chipper, like she'd just had a wonderful night. She said, "I'm glad you made the right decision letting her stay. She was so shaken up." My stomach dropped because I instantly knew what had happened. My mom had let her into the house behind my back. I asked, "What are you talking about?" I shut the door in her face. That's when my mom got quiet and then admitted that an hour after I sent my girlfriend away, she showed up at my mom's place, crying about how cruel I was. My mom, being the soft heart she is, let her in and gave her the guest room. I was furious. I told my mom point blank, "She's not my responsibility anymore." She called me a worm to her friends. She laughed at me when I tried to warn her, and now she's just using your kindness to wedge her way back in. My mom pushed back with the classic, "But she's been through so much," argument. I cut her off and said, and I warned her exactly what would happen if she went there. She didn't just ignore me, she mocked me. That's not trauma, that's arrogance and cruelty. Don't let her dump the consequences of her choices on us. It turned into a bit of a shouting match, which isn't normal for me and my mom, but I had to stand my ground. I told her that if she wanted to play Florence Nightingale to my ex, that was on her, but I wouldn't be visiting her house as long as the ex was living there. For the first couple days, my ex tried to spin it like I was the bad guy. She sent me a few texts that started with, "I can't believe you abandoned me when I needed you most," and ended with, "But I know deep down you still care, otherwise you wouldn't have warned me in the first place." That kind of manipulative guilt trip might have worked on me a year ago, but not now. I left her on read every single time. Then came the apology. She texted, "I didn't mean it when I called you a worm. I was just trying to look strong in front of people. You're not a worm. You're dependable. Please just give me a chance to show you I can change." I actually laughed out loud when I read that. To me, dependable is just another word for easy to exploit. Meanwhile, my mom was starting to see through the act. Apparently, my ex wasn't acting all that shaken up once she settled in. She was lounging around, scrolling TikTok, ordering food with my mom's credit card, and dropping little comments like, "If I lived here full-time, I'd totally redecorate this place." My mom finally called me and said, "I think you were right. She's taking advantage." That was the sweetest "I told you so" moment of my life. I told my mom gently but firmly, "Exactly. She's not broken, she's manipulative. She'll milk anyone who lets her. If you don't tell her to leave, she'll set up camp there until she finds her next sucker." So yesterday, my mom told her it was time to go. Apparently, the ex acted all shocked and said, "But I thought we were family now." My mom stood her ground, which I'm proud of her for, and told her that family doesn't insult and use people. Of course, the ex didn't leave gracefully. She stormed out, slammed the door, and then texted me one last time, "You'll regret this when you realize I was the best thing that ever happened to you." I didn't reply. Honestly, I feel nothing but relief. I've realized something important through all this. People will show you who they are if you just stop giving them the benefit of the doubt for long enough. My ex showed me she thought of me as a resource, not a partner. And once I stopped playing along, her whole house of cards collapsed. Right now, my focus is repairing things with my mom. I know she meant well, and she admitted she was wrong, so I'm not holding a grudge. She actually told me she's proud of me for standing firm and not letting myself get manipulated. That meant a lot, because in the past, I probably would have folded just to keep the peace. So yeah, no dramatic reunion, no second chances. Just me, a very ex-girlfriend, and the satisfaction of finally saying, and living, the words, "I told you so." Update 2. I thought after she stormed out of my mom's place that would be the end of it. She'd move on, find another guy to bankroll her nights out, and I'd be a closed chapter. But apparently, she couldn't leave it there. 2 days later, I started getting texts from friends, co-workers, even my cousin. Screenshots of a long, teary Facebook post she made about me. She wrote that I abandoned her after she was mugged, that I slammed the door on her while she was traumatized and shaking, and that she had to rely on the kindness of strangers, meaning my mom, to even get through the night. She didn't mention mocking me as her worm. She didn't mention that I warned her not to go there. She didn't mention that I still picked her up off the street and drove her home. Just painted this picture of me as some unfeeling monster who left her for dead. The comments made my blood boil. People who didn't know me well wrote things like, "How could anyone do that?" and "She deserves better than a heartless boyfriend." Some of our mutual friends hit "like" on it, which stung more than I wanted to admit. But here's the thing, I wasn't going to let her write the narrative this time. In the past, I'd have just stayed quiet, let people think what they wanted, and fumed silently. Not anymore. I made my own post, simple, not emotional, just the facts. I wrote, "Yes, she got robbed. Yes, I picked her up and drove her home." But earlier that night, she mocked me publicly, called me her worm she uses for cash, and laughed at me when I warned her not to go to that exact street. I let her in the car but not into my home, because respect is the bare minimum in a relationship, and she made it clear she didn't have any for me. I ended it with, "A partner who humiliates you in public and then demands sanctuary in private isn't a partner. I hope she heals, but I won't be her doormat anymore." I hit post and muted my phone. The fallout was immediate. Half the comments on her post disappeared as people quietly removed their support. A couple of mutuals even chimed in on mine with, "Yeah, I heard her say it. It wasn't a joke, it was nasty." One friend texted me privately, "Dude, she's been calling you a worm for months. I thought you were okay with it. Didn't realize it bothered you." That part kinda broke me. How normal she'd made disrespecting me in public. Of course, she didn't take it well. She texted me that I was smearing her and gaslighting everyone. I told her, "No, I'm correcting the record. You're mad because for once, your version isn't the only one people are hearing." She went silent after that. Meanwhile, my mom apologized again for letting her in. She said seeing my ex try to manipulate social media opened her eyes. She doesn't want comfort, Mom said. She wants control. I told her that was exactly it. I won't pretend it hasn't been exhausting. I don't like airing private drama online, but if the choice is between staying silent and letting her burn my reputation down or calmly laying out the truth, I'll pick the truth every time. The wildest part? I actually feel lighter, like a weight is off my chest. For the first time, I'm not ashamed of standing up for myself. The people who matter, the ones who really know me, have been supportive. And the people who think I'm heartless because I wouldn't roll over one more time, I don't need them. So that's where things stand. She's lost her grip on my mom, lost control of the narrative, and lost me for good. If she keeps escalating, that's on her. I'm done. For now, I'm focusing on work, friends. Update 3. So after my last post, things actually calmed down for a bit. But then, of course, she found a new angle. My mom called me one night sounding nervous. She said, "Lily came by today. She just wanted to talk." My stomach immediately clenched. Apparently, Lily had shown up at my mom's door again with this whole sad girl routine. Tears, shaking voice, the works. She told my mom she just needed closure and wanted me to at least sit down with her once before cutting her off completely. Mom, bless her, told her, "That's not my place. You need to respect his decision." But Lily kept pushing. "You raised him to be compassionate. You don't want him turning into someone cold, do you?" That line made my blood boil. Using my mom's kindness to guilt her into undermining me? That's manipulative on a whole other level. Luckily, Mom stood her ground and told her flat out, "He's not cold. He's finally standing up for himself. You need to accept that." When Mom relayed that to me later, she admitted she felt bad for letting her down, but I told her she did exactly the right thing. I said, "Mom, she doesn't want closure. She wants control. Thank you for not giving it to her." But Lily wasn't done. A couple of days later, I started getting messages from mutual friends again. This time, it wasn't Facebook. It was group chats and Instagram stories. Apparently, Lily had pivoted from the abandoned victim story to the he's being brainwashed by his controlling mom story. She was telling people that my mom was turning me against her and didn't like her because she was independent. The irony is laughable. She's never been independent a day in her life. But some people bought it. A mutual friend actually texted me, "Hey man, is your mom really interfering? That doesn't sound like you." I didn't let it slide. I replied, "No, my mom actually took her side at first. She let her stay when I wouldn't. Then she realized Lily was manipulating her. The only interference has been Lily trying to use my mom as leverage." That pretty much shut it down. At this point, I've noticed a pattern. Every time she hits a wall, she finds someone else to target. First me, then my mom, then mutuals. She throws the same sad victim script at each one, tweaking the details until someone bites. And for a while, I think she believed that if she pulled enough strings, I'd cave out of embarrassment or pressure. But here's the part I'm proud of. I didn't cave, not once. Old me would have at least agreed to one talk. I would have let her guilt me with lines about compassion and closure. I would have tried to smooth things over just to stop looking like the bad guy. But now, I can see the playbook clear as day. I actually told my mom, if she shows up again, don't even open the door. You don't owe her anything. She's not family. My mom agreed. She even laughed a little and said, "I think you inherited my soft heart but your dad's stubborn streak." Honestly, I'll take that as a compliment. As for mutuals, I've stopped defending myself to everyone. The people who matter know the truth. The rest can believe whatever version she's spinning this week. I'm not going to waste energy putting out fires she keeps lighting. The most satisfying part? A few of our closer friends have quietly distanced themselves from her. One even told me, "Dude, she's exhausting. Every conversation with her is about how wronged she is. You dodged a bullet." That sentence was better than therapy. So yeah, she tried to rope my mom back in like a fool. Update 4. 3 days after her last attempt, she came to my job. Reception called my desk. "A woman here says she's your fiancé. Emergency." I went down. She was center stage in the lobby, makeup smeared, phone in hand like a prop. She started the second I appeared. "So this is it? You abandoned me after I was assaulted and hide behind your mommy?" I said, "Leave. We're not together. Don't come here." She raised her voice. "Everyone should know he's a coward. Worm with a spine. That's what he calls himself now." Heads turned on the mezzanine. 2 security guards peeled off from the desk. "Last chance," I said. "Walk out." She pointed at me, shaking. "You'll regret this. I was the best thing that ever happened to you." Security took her by the arm and steered her to the doors. She dragged her heels and shouted all the way across the lobby. Phones were out. The doors shut behind her and the echo hung in the glass. HR called me upstairs. They'd already pulled footage. They asked if I wanted a formal no trespass letter issued. I said yes. Building management printed a copy for her, certified mail and email. My boss told reception, "If she returns, call call security first, then me. That night, she unloaded a 1,200-word post on Facebook and Instagram. Financial abuse. Emotional neglect. Controlled by his mother. Screenshots hit my phone before she finished the second paragraph. Mutuals finally pushed back in the comments. You've posted about him for weeks. Stop. You went to his work. Boundaries. She replied to each one with novels. Within 12 hours, both posts were deleted. Within 24, her accounts went dark. 2 nights later, she appeared at my mom's during dinner, fists pounding, suitcase in one hand, hoodie of mine on her shoulders. My mom cracked the door 6 inches. You need to leave. Lily tried to wedge her suitcase through. I have nowhere to go. I'm not safe. You have to let me in. No, my mom said. Stop coming here. Lily dropped the suitcase on the mat and yelled, You're enabling him. You're both abandoning me. Neighbor's porch lights flicked on. She kept at it until a neighbor across the street called non-emergency. Cruise car pulled up. Officers stood on the stoop while my mom explained. Ex-girlfriend. Repeated uninvited visits, previously warned. They told Lily that returning again would be trespassing, and they'd cite her. She rolled the suitcase down the sidewalk yelling, This isn't over! To nobody. The next morning, 3 mutuals texted me variations of, She showed up at your mom's again? Word traveled fast. Someone sent me her close friend's story she'd posted right before deactivating. A selfie in front of my mom's house with the caption, If they won't let me in, I'll make them listen. The porch camera timestamp matched the photo. That afternoon, front desk buzzed me again. Process server just left a letter for you. HR had one too. The building's council had drafted a workplace ban. Lily was prohibited from entering or loitering on the property. Any attempt would trigger a police call. HR sent the same to her email with the lobby footage stills attached. She pivoted to a new move. Wellness checks. 2 days later, police knocked on my apartment door for a concerned caller who hasn't heard from you in days. I opened up, standing there with coffee. I'm fine, I said. They glanced around, made a note, and left. The dispatcher's callback number in the officer's notes matched the block Lily had used to contact me before. Then she tried money. A mutual sent me a GoFundMe link with her face on it. Recovering from assault. Please help. The description named no hospital, no report, just vague phrases and a goal of $7,500. Within an hour, 2 more mutuals DM'd screenshots of Lily offering them 10% for boosting. One of them replied, That's not how fundraisers work, and she wrote back, Influencer marketing is standard. Both sent me the screenshots. I forwarded everything to GoFundMe support with a brief timeline. The page went offline by evening. She upped it again. Late that night, my car alarm shrieked in the garage. I ran down. 2 of my tires were slashed on the street side edge. A neighbor across the alley yelled from his balcony. Someone in a gray hoodie sprinted off toward Oak. The building camera above the roll-up caught a hooded figure ducking under the arm, but the face was hidden. I filed a report. The officer pointed at the camera timecode and said to loop in the property manager. Insurance took photos. The shop towed my car, replaced the tires. I sent HR the incident number. HR added it to the ban file. Next morning, Lily pinged my email from a new burner. All you had to do was be decent. You want war? Fine. IT flagged the email, quarantined it, and suggested I block the domain. I did. 5 minutes later, another burner appeared with a single photo attachment. My hoodie lying on asphalt, letters scrawled across it in black marker, WORM. Location data in the file properties read, off, but she'd forgotten to strip the sequence number tag. It matched the sequence of her last posted selfie outside my mom's. I forwarded it to the same officer handling the tires. Around lunch, receptionist buzzed again. A package for you at the desk. I went down, a brown paper bag with my name in Sharpie. Inside, my hoodie, cut into strips, still reeking of her perfume. Taped to it, a sticky note. You don't get this back. You don't get me back. Security saved the desk camera clip, which showed a gloved hand sliding the bag through the revolving door and running. Management added that to the file and emailed her ban notice again. Mutuals started tapping out. One group chat went quiet after she dumped 6 voice notes at 2 a.m. Another friend showed me a thread where she threatened to expose anyone who sided with him. People left the chat. Someone posted a screenshot of the workplace ban letter, redacted, with the caption, "She went to his job." Comments under it were short. Yikes. Nope. Block. She tried my landlord next. The leasing office manager called me. We just took a call from a woman claiming to be your fiancé, saying she needs access to your unit because she left medication inside. I told them not to grant access and to put a note on my file. The manager said they already had. They'd ask for ID and a court order for anyone not on the lease. She also said, "We see this stuff. Don't worry." They emailed a property ban covering the residential side, matching the workplace one. That evening, she texted from an unknown number. "Last chance to fix this privately." 2 minutes later, "I'm outside." She wasn't. Security checked the feed. 10 minutes after that, my mom called. "She's on my porch again." By the time I drove over, a patrol car was already there. Lily was on the sidewalk with her suitcase again, arguing with the officer. He told her clear as day, if she crossed the property line, she'd be cited. She tried to talk over him, then noticed me getting out of my car and yelled, "Look at him hiding behind cops and mommy." The officer told her to leave. She rolled the suitcase away, talking into her phone camera like she was live streaming to no one. 2 days passed. Quiet for once. Then an email from HR. Someone had mass emailed a PDF to a generic careers at inbox with the subject line employee misconduct and my name on it. The PDF was a multi-page rant blaming me for her robbery, accusing me of weaponized boundaries, and attaching grainy screenshots of our texts with half the timestamps cropped. It traced the sender to a free webmail service. The username was a thinly disguised version of her old handle. HR filed it under ban file, informed building security, and replied with the same no trespass notice. Legal CC'd. Done. That night, my mom's porch cam pinged again. A figure darting up, lifting a sealed delivery box, and sprinting off. My mom called it in. Officers took the video. The label on the box had RX in the corner and my mom's pharmacy name. She'd been expecting a standard refill. 2 hours later, a plastic bag showed up on the mat with the box inside, opened, contents untouched, and a note on notebook paper. "Didn't want your pills. Wanted attention." Same slanted handwriting as the hoodie note. The officer added the porch video and note to the existing report. The next morning, 2 mutuals sent me a new account that had popped up on Instagram with 0 followers and a single post, a photo of that same porch note with the caption, "He ignores messages, but this gets him." It was down by lunchtime. By the end of the week, her number of working accounts had dwindled to none, blocked across platforms. Friends stopped receiving mass texts. Group chats moved, new ones formed without her. The GoFundMe stayed offline. The workplace ban stood. The property ban stood. The police file had a string of incident numbers stapled together. Final move, a letter slid under my apartment door one afternoon in an envelope with no stamp. Inside, a single sheet. "You made me the villain. You'll remember this. P.S. Check your storage unit." I went straight to the basement. The padlock on my storage cage was intact but sticky with perfume, and the wire mesh had fresh scuffs where someone had tried and failed to pry it. The building manager reviewed the basement cam. A hooded figure tugging at the cage for 20 seconds, then bolting when a neighbor came through with laundry. We swapped my lock for a disc lock. Manager printed another notice and taped it in the elevator. "Unauthorized persons are prohibited. Building under video surveillance. Trespassers will be prosecuted." After that, nothing. No more burners, no more knocks, no more porch cameos, wellness checks, or lobby scenes. HR closed the file with "Resolved, no further activity." The officer emailed to say the porch theft case would sit open pending any new footage, and to call if she reappeared. The neighbor with the balcony shook his head and said, "Haven't seen the gray hoodie since."